to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah, hope I get away with it. Oh, da doo-dah day.
Good night, folks. We are sitting here in Last Man Standing. Welcome to it. With me tonight, Joe Bachman. Let me full screen this here a little bit. There we go. And the stupid o'clock was a little weirder than usual tonight, but that's the trademark, so we're going to run with it.
And weirder than usual, that's a high bar to be able to cross.
I know, but we constantly leap that mark. It's like, how can we do something stranger than this? We'll find a way.
Where there is a will, there is a way.
Okay. Personal question.
Yes,
what is the next thing that you were looking forward to doing the wood burning on? Have you got a brand new pattern you want to try out, or?
So Wednesday's show, I will be doing actually something personal because we need bigger house numbers outside.
Yeah.
So I'm going to burn the pieces over there, but it's a wider piece of wood. I'm just going to burn our address on it and hang that outside.
Mm.
And then that way, if the house catches fire, it'll burn with the house. Hopefully, it doesn't before the fire department gets here.
It really, otherwise, you're going to need one of them little green signs up by the mailbox, which is what we depend on.
That's the problem. The mailbox is on the house, too.
Ooh, suburban life. I miss that sometimes. I miss
Joe Dog, I'm about 500 yards from the fire department, but it'd still take them about 10 minutes to get here because it's a volunteer department.
Yeah. This week when the guy had his throttle stick and went flying off the road and hit the tree at the end of my driveway. The next door neighbor is one of the volunteer fire department, and as he knows the sound, he's lived here long enough to know when he hears that somebody done had a wreck, and he's walking up the driveway on the phone. Hey guys, we got another one. You know where I live. Get out here. It was about 10 minutes before the first actual EMT vehicle showed up, but volunteers showed up within less than 5 minutes. I mean, you could hear them screaming up the road in their pickup trucks and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they, I hate to say it, they were actually a whole lot more professional than the state patrol when they showed up. I mean, the volunteer fire department spaced cars out way at the strategic ends of the S curve and turned their flashers on and everything, trying to get people to slow down. State patrol just pulled up right there and go, you wave them along. I'm going to try and find a reason to arrest this guy. Fortunately, the driver of the car was stone cold sober, and it was obvious to anybody that was looking at the skid marks and whatnot, and to the guy next door with the volunteer fire department, that engine was stuck wide open, just like he said when he crawled out of the wreckage. He had to crawl back in and turn the key to turn it off. It was just boiling smoke out of the exhaust pipe as the car was upside down. And the drive wheels were, I mean, they were going a mile a minute. But
yeah, we had a accident years ago on one of the job sites I was on. It was actually after we had left for the day, because all they were doing was tying some rebar. They were pulling. We were doing a bridge on the interstate over one of the town roads. And so what they were doing, instead of trying to get the semi in there with all the rebar and stuff on it, and unloading up top and taking up the rest of the very little room we had up there, they were unloading on the bottom. So when they needed it up top, they just, shifted the machine over, dropped the strap down, one of the laborers tied it up, away it went. Well, laborer had his stop panel set, flip to stop for the traffic. And he's kind of watching it because as they're lifting it up, it's kind of coming up over his head. So he's more watching it to make sure that if that strap gives, he can jump.
Yeah.
And didn't see the car coming at him. Car ends up hitting him, hits the curb, runs across a bunch of the rebar, blows out all 4 tires. Guy that was driving the car, we're pretty sure he was on something. We don't know what. But he took off running into the woods and then came back, so we're guessing he went to go drop stuff.
Yeah.
And my wife is still awake. Huh. But
tell her I love her.
A Facebook message from her. Didn't expect that.
But
So,
say it in a nice way.
yeah.
One
But
that doesn't make me look like a pervert. Uh, I know that's
so,
difficult.
but no, someone
No.
that was on the bridge, saw what happened, yelled, "Hey, call 911!" as he's running down to go check on the laborer. This laborer, and this is going to sound horrible, but he couldn't have been hit in a better spot. And the reason why I say that, they had just bought a brand new bidwell machine, which is what they use for smoothing the concrete out across a bridge deck. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The rep from the company that was out there to show them all the new features and gizmos and everything on the machine was a certified EMT back home in South Dakota. So he goes running down to start assessing the guy. Another carpenter realized that by the time they call 911 and try to explain where their exact location is, because there is no address, realized it'd be quicker for him to run the 100 yards, down the embankment of the bridge, across the road over to the fire department. That luckily was not a volunteer fire department, so it had people there all the time. So he goes running in there. They put out the call, and there was a nurse that lived in one of the houses next to the project that happened to have a police scanner. Heard the location, went, shit, that's literally out my back door. So she comes running out of her house.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, it like I said, it sounds horrible, but if you're going to get hit on a job site, that was the best case scenario.
I mean, really, it's like oh, I can't remember who it was. Someone I know was in the hospital for a test and had a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to have a heart attack, if you're already got a doctor standing over you, that's the best possible time.
But I will say one thing for Superior Construction, who was him on that, especially, well, he's now a VP there, but he followed the, hey, related, he followed the ambulance to the hospital, and was calling the main office going, hey, pull this guy's emergency contact info, get a hold of his family. So he followed him to the hospital. Porter couldn't actually take him because he was too much of a trauma. So they had to airlift him out to South Bend. So as they're airlifting him, he's calling the guy's family going, hey, we're heading to South Bend. This is the hospital. I'll meet you guys there. He was there until 3 a.m. when the guy got out of emergency surgery.
Hey.
Came back the next morning, told us what happened, and said, we're pulling off the job site at noon. I'm taking all the carpenters and the laborers to Menards. We're picking up the wood and stuff because he's going to be in a wheelchair for about 6 months going through physical therapy, and he has no way to get into his house. So we're building him a ramp today. And we said that, whatever you need to do.
Yeah, really. I mean,
and they paid for it on their company card, and literally, I was out there on the job site, and it hit noon, and the foreman looked at them all and said, okay, boys, pack up your gear, get in your trucks, follow me to Menards. Start thinking of what we need to build a deck, build a ramp.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. And it's great when it's one of those situations where people can pull together and get something done that needs to be done right then,
mm-hmm.
and get it done right then.
Well, we had, on average, there was probably about 8 to 10 carpenters out there and about the same amount of laborers each day. So this was just a full-blown, you folks come with me. We're heading to Menards. You folks go to his house, get the measurements, let us know how much wood we need.
Mm-hmm. Thesis, if you want to join us, I'm fairly sure you've got the link.
Mm-hmm.
I just tried to check. I think I've read the list correctly. Um, but you know, then here we go. Thesis is linked in my channel, but he's got wrench in my channel, but I don't. Uh, of course, it's not my channel. It is a subset of Joe Dog's channels. Uh, that keeps it affordable for Joe Dog. I may have to. I may have to go ahead and sooner or later just go, hey, I'll do this whether you do that or not. And boom. But yeah, I do help Joe Dog out with the StreamYard fees for both channels. And yeah, that's no great deal. It's
Mm-hmm.
easily affordable, even though I am a pensioner at this time. Uh, I have my priorities in order. Uh, I hope.
That reminds me, I need to talk to Nick tomorrow
Hmm.
and see what videos I need to upload because he's switching over to my StreamYard account
Yes.
starting very soon.
Yeah, he had to go back to the free version for himself,
Yeah.
and the bells and whistles are not there.
Well, Richie and I actually split the uh, next step up of StreamYard where you could have 4 admins and everything. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so, like right now, it's, me, Nick, Dawn, and Rich that all have admin access. And we figured it'd be better to do it that way. 1, we could have more admins. 2, we could stream to more places at one time if we so wish. And 3, it saves me a little bit of money rather than, because I was sponsoring Nick's show and doing the indie CD one. Well, if I had just combined the 2 from the damn start, I would have been the same amount of money either way.
Yeah. Something I remember that Trelena and Dawn were talking about in the last show that they did. They wanted, like I've got Last Man Standing up in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted the logo goes not the green room forever. Uh, I know you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to offer to do it, and I go, ooh, that might be kind of awkward slap in the face because Joe knows how to do a whole lot more things than I do. Um,
Have you seen my logos? They're fucking gradients.
well, I'm kind of fond of the transparent background, but
Mm-hmm.
seriously, um,
One thing I'm thinking about doing, because I sponsored Grant for a year, which I think his is coming up. Um, but what I'm thinking about doing for some of the indie CD folks is just because, like, right now, my wife and I both log in under my account in StreamYard.
mm,
That way, if I'm not there, and say Dawn and Nick can't make it, she could still go in and run a show if she wanted to. Oh, and she sends her love back.
Well, I mean, well, wait a minute. I'm confused. Dawn or Trelana?
Trelana sends her love back.
Oh, okay. I was gonna go. Dawn's awake and she's not here. There's some evil afoot. No,
I sent the wife a thing. Said, Dan says he loves you. You can always hop on LMS if you want. And she goes, just saw this after laying down, but send my love back. And then, she got an adorable picture of the kitty cats.
Oh, I love adorable pictures of kitty cats. Thesis has sent. Oh my goodness, they're just snuggled.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. I have paperback books that have more space between them on the bookshelves. Thesis worked hard on my logo and I can't use it because I'm on the free plan. Plus, I have very limited videos and such. Yes, StreamYard free, while it is amazing after you've used it for a while, it does seem to be geared towards convincing you to give them money.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
what I was considering doing is taking one of the admin roles off and switching the account, to a different email account that I could just give people access to. And then that way, like for Bladed, for instance, I could give him access to that. He could just use my StreamYard account.
Mm-hmm. That's the way Joe Dog works it for this show and Stupid O'Clock.
Mm-hmm.
We're not.
Y'all just log in under the same account.
Yeah, we all log in under Joe Dog's account, which is kind of sort of against the rules, but they haven't come up with a way to detect it yet. So,
yeah.
And Thesis is here with us as soon as he gets through pulling his chair up. And Mike Jimmy just joined the chat.
Hey, Mike Jimmy.
Hey, it is Sunday morning for him, so
oh, nice. Well, happy Father's Day to him then.
Yes.
Oh, actually, it's Sunday morning for all of us. Well, not you yet, Bladed. But...
yeah, not me.
Not quite yet, but
close enough, though.
Yeah.
Hey, it works. We're all in the same studio. Seriously.
That's something I'm gonna talk with. I'm gonna try and get a hold of Dawn tomorrow and see about doing that.
Oh, Aunt Donna would kill me if I didn't come out with this smart remark. She'd think I was just missing a trick here. But my green room brain went immediately to I've been trying to get hold of Dawn for years. Get my hands up. No. But still, it's one of those things that should show up as a hashtag in the green room. Oh, and just to be absolutely positively clear.
Yep.
Not the green room. Uh, oh, I have made several of those now, and uh,
Hopefully the car troubles aren't too horrible, Mike Jimmy. You'll be able to get that fixed.
Car trouble sucks. I've had
Yeah.
a brake light on in my truck for about 3 months. So, yeah.
every time I go get my oil changed, the guys in the shop, I go to a shop because I don't have an easy way to dispose of it legally, the used oil. They do. They always check my tire pressure. Even though I've got 17-inch wheels on this car, they insist it has to be 32 pounds of pressure. No, it's over 40. And my low pressure lights are on continually. And if I pump everything up and turn those lights off within 90 days, I have to go get the oil changed again
Mm-hmm.
every 3 months. And they go, oh, wow, that's way too high. There come the damn lights again. I'm going to try a new oil change place here. There's one
Well,
that's opened up very much closer to me than the one I've been going to for years. So,
at least I'm not doing like the one thing I see float around Facebook occasionally. It's a picture of the car dashboard showing the various tire pressures, and it's the customer stating, "Yeah, for some reason I just can't get these up to 100%."
and we send children to school. Why? Not going to be able to join. Had car problems. Had to go home early. Strain problems. Gonna get Aurora out of bed. Give her a big hug from all of us.
Yes.
She is going to be the most precious and pampered baby I know, and will have so many honorary uncles and aunts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, seriously, if Aurora ever hollers for help, half the globe is going to go, I have my ICBMs already turned on. Just tell me where to point them.
Well, the first call will be to John Scarborough going, so how far back do we need to be when your bombs hit?
Either that or asking for an emergency shipment of Sirius, buddy. The bank won't give me my money. Call Scarborough. That bank will not have that problem anymore. It'd be almost as much fun as watching Doctor Who point us on that screwdriver at an ATM and have cash flying out into the air. Oh dear. The recent season of Doctor Who.
I need to catch up on that.
The first few episodes, they're kind of hit and miss depending on how big of a fan you are. and then the stories pick up. And it gets really, really good. I highly recommend. The only thing wrong is they've only got eight shows in this season. So next week is the cliffhanger before the Christmas special or holiday special,
Yeah.
depending on whether or not it's Christmas or New Year's or whatever they decide on. But it's a whole lot more challenging than the scripts during, I hate to say it, during Jodie's era because she did not get good scripts.
Yeah.
She deserved much better. Uh, she's a great actress. If they had written stuff that was up to snuff for her, people would hold her in a very much higher regard. And Russell's back now, writing scripts occasionally as
Mhm.
a showrunner all the time until he gets burnt out again. Should take about 3 to 5 years because there's only so long you can juggle this many red hot pokers before you go, no, I'm gonna
Mhm.
I'm gonna let somebody else do it for a while. Never expected him to come back, but hey, he did, and it is paying off. There are these long-term, season-long plot threads that are slowly building up to this enormous payoff, which we hope is going to be next week, but might even be continued on to the holiday special. Don't know. I'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, Doctor Who does like a good cliffhanger.
Hey, that's when it's at its best. Is the cliffhangers.
I mean, look at them bringing David Tennant back.
Oh, that was totally unexpected for most people.
Hmm.
They thought it was going to be straight from Jodie to Shooty Gatwa, and then all of a sudden, here's the regeneration, and it's David Tennant going, "What?" And that wasn't a trio of anniversary specials, actually, I do believe. And it was very well done and got a lot of people who did not like the showrunner's direction during Jodie's era. She did get some good scripts, but not an awful lot.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike Jimmy, you said you weren't going to be able to make it, but
Yeah, I am. Good morning,
there
everyone.
you are.
There we
And
go.
the sweet baby, too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the way they did it with Tennant was good. Okay, we got these 3 specials we need to do. We'll just do those and we'll go, hey, you get to go on vacation and you're not dead after you regenerate. This is the first time. And boom, another plot twist in the entire series.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's been a fun ride. Um, I mean, I've been following it since Tom Baker was the Doctor in production.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went back and I found ways to watch all the previous stuff from 1963 till today. And I'm going, hey, it's got its ups and downs. Some stuff looks cheap, some stuff doesn't. Some of it's really high class and worthy of being a movie. And some of it is like, yeah, well, Masterpiece Theater acting and Dark Shadows budget. I understand. That's the best way to describe the classic era, actually, is you had a shoestring budget, but you had the most fantastic actors in the United Kingdom begging to play the parts.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter whether it's...
I'm a really big fan of the New Who.
Yes.
I stopped watching at Jodie Whittaker because I'm sorry, the writing plummeted. And it's a shame because I love Jodie Whittaker as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
She is really, really good. They just didn't give her enough to work with.
Oh,
and
I'm getting a call. Sorry, guys.
Yep.
Bye-bye. Yeah. Which is really weird because the guy that screwed everything up was in charge of the last 5 episodes in that Flux series ender for Jodie. And I go, damn, if you've been writing like that the whole time, nobody would have turned away.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually really, it's like, oh, this is my last ever attempt to prove that I can actually write a good script. Damn if he didn't.
I'll be right back. I need something to drink.
I need something more to drink too, but I'm not going to the liquor store tonight. Not at this time.
Mine is closed, but fucking Mormons.
Mine is closed because it's damn near 2 a.m. But I got plenty of beer, so Frank Zappa would say that's enough. A couple of quarts of beer, I'll be all right.
I got my last can of hard Mountain Dew that I have down here. The light orange version.
Now, I remember in the green room last night, you told Trelena about another flavor that was there, and she goes, "I'm going to the fridge right now before Joe gets it all." What did she give you?
The pack we bought was a multi-pack. It was 4 of the regular hard Mountain Dews, 4 of the Baja Blast, 4 watermelon, which are actually really good, and 4 Live Wire, which is kind of their orange flavored Mountain Dew. And this actually tastes better than the regular Live Wire, but that could be the alcohol talking.
Makes a difference.
I loved Live Wire when it first came out, and then it started off as one of their seasonal Mountain Dews, And it was like the 3rd season, I think it came out. They did something to that recipe. So I'm like, oh, it's back out. I'm going to grab one. Took a couple swigs and went, well, this is shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as good as it used to be.
It was kind of like the McRib after the 5th year. They did something to it and just totally fucked it up. But yeah, that's kind of the running joke in our house is we'll tell each other, oh, this is horrible. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of it, which translates to it's phenomenal, and I will fight you to the death for it.
Yeah. I haven't met Trelena, but my money's on her, dude.
Oh, so is mine. I won't even try to throw the fight. I just know it's on. I know which side the winning bet is.
Yeah, really. You know which side of the bed your butter is on. And the first time I said that, somebody actually thought that I misspoke. And I go, I've been married a long time. I know exactly what I said.
I keep saying that she's going to kill me in my sleep, and she keeps telling me that I will be awake, armed, and facing her because, why not just die scared shitless at that point?
Well, the only good defense is running away really quickly and not being armed at the time.
I am 320 pounds. Running away very quickly is only going to last for about 10 seconds.
10 seconds sometimes is all you need to make your point.
Problem is, she knows how to use throwing stars and throwing knives. And I'm fairly certain since she grew up down by the swamp, she knows how to lead her target.
Yes, but if you're running away and you're not armed, you're not facing her, you don't have a gun in your hand, she's going to... He figured out the rules.
Although she has also told me that she'll never kill me with one of her lifesteal swords because she's too lazy to clean the blood off to keep it from pitting. Which means I have to worry about her getting one of Nick's lifesteal swords. Because, she never said anything about using somebody else's.
I got a few I can loan her. Like 12 or so.
Believe me, what I know about Trelena, you give her a sword made of styrofoam and she's going to be deadly anyway.
Well, she got pulled over one time on her way to fencing practice. Back when her and Nick were both in the SCA. And she got pulled over in Portage, which automatically means 2 cops minimum. And I don't remember why they had her step out of the vehicle, but one of the guys, after they pat her down, they go, well, do you have any weapons in the vehicle? She goes, yes and no. And they're like, what do you mean yes and no? She goes, take a look through the back window. See that duffel bag there? He goes, yeah. She goes, that's filled with swords. Some are live steel, but all of them are tipped. And he goes, what? She goes, I'm on my way to sword practice. So, of course, they end up pulling it out, and they're pulling everything out, and everything's tipped, everything's safe, and the other cop that was there on scene starts asking her, like, well, how'd you get into this? Where do I sign up at? Like, she ended up having like a 15-minute conversation with one of the cops about the SCA, and
happened to me too.
Mm-hmm.
Although I wasn't on my way to SCA, I was on my way to our local college where I was an assistant instructor, and I had a 7-foot-tall spear, 3 swords, 2 or 3 white waxwood staffs, all kind of Tetris in the back seat of a Pontiac Sunbird.
That's not a big car.
No, not. Cop was like, "Is there any weapons in the vehicle?" I'm like, "Yes."
Besides me,
them?
you mean?
The spear is partially sticking out the back window back there. Where are you going? To the college. Why is it all back there? I'm an assistant instructor in the Kung Fu class. There's a Kung Fu class at the college? Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Can I be in the class? Well, probably not right now. You're kind of on duty, but
Yeah.
maybe.
Not tonight, but you can sign up.
Yeah. Maybe next semester.
Had a friend that had a really antique pickup truck. And this was in the days when it was actually fashionable to have a gun rack hanging in the back of the pickup truck. Only he didn't have firearms. He put swords in it. And he got pulled over. No, he had an engine breakdown. And the mechanic noticed the gun rack, well, 3, full of swords. And he goes, I could fix this and charge you an arm and a leg, but I'm not going to do that. How much you want for one of them swords?
Depends on.
And that was exactly the way the guy pronounced it.
Of course.
And my friend said, "Hey, look, if you can fix a truck, I'll give you whichever one you want." So I actually wound up buying a Toledo steel hand and a half bastard and a basket hilt from this guy, which was what was left after the mechanic goes, "Hey, I'll take this." And I think the one that the guy actually decided was his payment for fixing the truck was a Carlos V, if you're familiar. And all of these came from his family's trip to a museum in Germany. So they were actual Toledo steel, but they were the stuff that you would buy in a museum gift shop. Which means they're not the best Toledo steel, but it's still Toledo. And I still have both of the ones I bought from him. Believe me, the short one with the basket hilt is that would be my go-to NT intruder thing. And I own, I don't know how many firearms, but if I get woken up out of a sound sleep and somebody's in the house coming down the hallway towards my wife, I figure a naked gray-haired old man wielding a sword is going to be more intimidating than somebody with a shotgun.
Oh no, that's true for everyone. There have been like scientific studies that conclude that when someone is committing a crime, they expect to see a gun. They don't expect to see this.
Yep.
Sharp, pointy things.
So that
Yes.
makes their brain kind of blue screen for a second. Like, what? Hell's going on?
I look at it this way. If someone ever breaks into the house at night, especially when we're in bed, they're gonna, if they do survive, they're gonna need a lot of psychiatric treatment.
Yeah.
Because the first thing they're gonna see, I mean, besides tripping over the cats, as they try to come towards the bedroom, is a fat naked white man leveling a 410 towards the doorway.
That's pretty intimidating.
Followed by, after the first shot goes off, a fully clothed white woman grabbing the machete from the other side of the bed.
And they're going to wonder how they walked into this Freddy Krueger movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. No, I can't. I have some pretties hanging on the wall in here. Both of these would be marginally useful in a combat situation. One we were given as a wedding present. No, it's too lightly constructed to be actually able to survive being used, but it looks intimidating as fuck.
Yeah.
The other is it's all metal, but the hilt is something that screws together because it's shipped to you in individual pieces with the axe head and the handle. I wound up a long time ago learning not to trust anything threaded as a weapon. Because the first failure of something like that is you're going to take one swing and the handle is going to fly to bits. Whether you're holding on to it or not. They're pretty. I'll give them that. They're really pretty. But no, I'll go back to the Toledo Steels, my first line of defense, in order for me to get to the 1911. That is a guaranteed. How do I put this? A pistol is a sword, and it is meant to be used within sword distance. It's not a long range target practicing thing. It is meant to get somebody off of you right then, right now. And you can, if you are proficient, basically withstand an attacker face to face, not 20 yards away, not 5 yards away, right there within grappling distance. That's what they are meant for. A lot of people do not understand that. They are a very, very short sword. And they will, instead of cut holes, poke holes. That's it. That's it. Now there are people that, my God, I wouldn't want to go up against them in a gunfight if I had a Barrett 50 at 5 miles away, because I'd probably still get dead. But no, hand to hand, getting somebody away from hand to hand, that's the trick. And Mike Jimmy is back.
Hey,
And there's her again. She is so beautiful.
there we go. There's the star of the show.
Hey, we're glad you're here too, Mike Jimmy, but we all know who we want to see.
You know.
Of course, it makes total sense. I agree.
Yeah. I don't know whether she looks like Luz more or you.
Well, she's got my hair. She's got my chin. Though, you can't really see it.
I've never seen your chin.
Exactly. Most people haven't. But yeah, no. Like her face, like her mouth, nose, and eyes are absolutely loose.
Now her eyes are just absolutely the expression she shows, even at this age. She is very much aware.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for her to watch your movie, because it's going to be better than Disney for her. Daddy
My
did
dad made
this
this.
for me.
Yep.
And she will always think that you did it for her. Don't you ever disabuse her of that notion.
Nope.
There we go. There's the rest of the model. No. I had to hop because Luz was calling. We received a present from her uncle for her birthday and Aurora getting born and all those things at the same time. And we would have opened it this morning together had I not suddenly had to go home instead of back to my mother-in-law, thanks to the AC having problems, and the traffic sport. No, I don't. Yeah, pretty much we heard. Yeah, you can get home, and that's about it. So you either go there or you go home. And we're like, well, we were at a party about halfway through the Netherlands, so it was 1.5 hours here and just over an hour to lose my mother. So it was like, okay, I'm gonna take Aurora home, and Luz, you go and have fun with your mother-in-law, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. So.
It's so weird to hear somebody say, we were halfway through the Netherlands and it was an hour and a half to get home.
Uh-huh.
Where I'm thinking, halfway through Indiana for me just puts me down to Indianapolis, and that's about a 2-hour drive.
Well, I mean, I'm an hour and a half from Atlanta.
Yeah,
and
no,
I used to do that on my motorcycle on a weekend to go buy books at a really good bookstore.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just-
you can If you're in the center of the Netherlands, you can drive 2 hours in any direction, and you will either be in a different country or in the city.
I will have to drive 3 hours this week to go to a convention in Chattanooga. And the reason it's going to be 3 hours is because I refuse to drive through Atlanta anymore if I can get out of it in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
I will take back roads, whatever it takes. I'm not facing 285 with those idiots unless it's like Sunday morning at 2 a.m.
Yep.
when most of them are either in jail or asleep.
That's like us, trying to get around Chicago when we would head up north to Wisconsin or Minnesota. It was, okay, we're leaving at this time. Yeah, we can drive 94 straight through downtown. It'll be, smooth traffic. Oh, we're leaving at this time? Yeah, we're kind of screwed no matter which direction we go, but 294 going out and around the city's still going to be better.
Mhm. Yeah.
I remember
Basically,
there was one time we were coming home from Minnesota, and like you look around and it's cars are all nicely spaced, we're all just flowing, and then it hits 3 o'clock for rush hour,
Yeah,
and you look in the rearview mirror, and it's nothing but a wall of cars all getting on you. And we went from doing 60 plus down to 35.
yeah.
Yeah, like it's the same here. If you have to go around Amsterdam from 2:30 p.m. to 8 p.m., you are going to be stuck somewhere, and it doesn't matter where. And if you're lucky, you are outside of the wave of stolen cars. If you're unlucky, you're gonna be going through it all around Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm. The thing that I hate about 285 around Atlanta is the traffic will be, the speed limit is 55, maybe 65, but the people are going 80.
Mm-hmm.
And then within 100 yards, you are, some idiot is trying to get into the off ramp from the far left lane of 8 lanes all the way over. And all of a sudden the traffic goes, oh, we're just going to sit here for a while and get a suntan.
Mm-hmm.
But 30 seconds before you're doing 70 miles an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to keep up with the police cars that were trying to ignore all the people in Porsches and Corvettes and whatnot that are trying to go much faster than 70 when the speed limit is 60. I just got so incredibly tired of having my nerves frayed. So I said, screw it. We're going to take the GPS and we are going to re-navigate our way to avoid Atlanta entirely.
Mm-hmm.
So we found a road that it's continually under construction, has been for almost 30 years, and none of it's finished yet, but it's a whole lot better to go through something is a construction zone than to be going, hey, we're flying now, to, oh my God, can I stop before I hit that car?
Yeah,
Yep.
I had a couple of those last night too, and it's just not fun. And like,
No, I'd rather be going, when the flagman lets us go, we'll be able to go, rather than, oh my God, I can actually see the flakes of the chrome on that bumper since I was finally able to stop in time.
Mm-hmm.
I made the mistake once. I've driven from here to go visit Foxy's family in Missouri 4 times.
Mhm.
And it's usually around a 13-hour drive. Straight through. Usually go through Colorado, through Kansas, and just then kind of into Missouri.
that kind of gets to Poland.
One time, we decided that we were going to go upstate to pick up a friend in Salt Lake, which is like 2.5 hours from us, and then go through Wyoming and through Nebraska. I drove all damn day and was still in Wyoming.
Yeah.
Like
Ah,
9-10 hours of driving, and we were still in Wyoming. I'm like, we're not doing this again. It took us 2 days to get there going that direction. I'm like, no, it would have been faster to go back down I-15 and take the normal route, and it would have taken us maybe 15 instead of 12. We're not doing this shit again.
Now, one of the last
Did you
times
say
I-
13 hours you'd be in Poland? Mike?
Yeah.
yes, Poland or the south of Spain, of France. So you would be in the Pyrenees.
Yeah, that's roughly how long it takes me to drive from Utah to Missouri. Is about 12, 13 hours, give or take, going through Denver.
Mm.
Yeah. It took me 18 hours to get from my house to Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And then I spent a couple of days with an artist friend of mine. And then I had to go from Dallas, Fort Worth to Daytona, Florida. I was on the motorcycle, which meant that every 4 hours I had to stop for gas, because that's all the tank would hold was 4 hours worth. And it took me 24 uninterrupted hours to go from Dallas, Texas to Daytona, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, hey, once I get to Florida, everything's going to be fine. No, Florida is not only long north to south, it's long east to west as well.
And the worst part about Florida is, A, you have all the tourists that have no idea where they're going.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have all the people who have decided to retire and now half suffer from dementia and have no idea where they're going.
Well,
At that
I
point,
can identify.
I'd rather
I can
drive
identify
through
with
downtown
the.
Chicago.
I can identify with the latter group now, because I am retired and I'm deathly afraid of dementia. But
I'd rather drive through Cabrini Green in Chicago with my windows down at that point.
So I'm actually sharing my screen, and there is 13.5 hours of driving that will get you into Andorra, which is a tiny country between France and Spain.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And if I move my endpoint, say Warsaw, it's only 11 hours.
It's a better road.
Yeah, you pass through like 4 different countries. We're still in the same damn country, driving 12 hours between
Oh,
states.
yeah. Austria is
Oh,
always interesting. That's only 10 hours.
I've done 13 hours and only crossed one state line.
Well, construction and accidents will do that.
Yeah.
No. I was on a major freeway to Tampa St. Pete in Florida from basically Atlanta, because I had to go to Atlanta to get on that road. And I'm just going vroom, vroom, and I was not on the bike. I was in the car. It took me about 13 hours to get from Athens to Atlanta to Tampa. And like I said, I only crossed one state line. Of course, our states are somewhat the same size as several European countries are.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, it took me about 8 hours to drive across Texas.
I was going to say that's a trek just by itself, depending on if you're going east to west or north and south. That'll take you 8-10 hours just driving across Texas.
Mm,
You do what you think?
I looked it up on my GPS. I could actually get from Socorro, New Mexico, to my house in Georgia in just about 25 hours if I didn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't sleep. I didn't do anything. The comfortable trip that we actually did took 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
If I'd been by myself, I would have driven 12 hours, pulled into a visitor center in between one state or another, slept, and then driven another 12 hours to get to where I was going. This is entirely possible. It's a little weird, even for us here in the U.S., but it can be done. But no, if you're going to stop and get 8 hours sleep at a roadside motel, you're going to feel better. You're going to be more alert. You're going to be able to drive better. And the major problem was from the moment I left New Mexico to the moment I got out of Atlanta, finally heading for my own house, we were trying to outrun a blizzard. It was snowing the entire time, and I'm driving a U-Haul rental truck full of all the things that we were able to pack up from from Lindsay's oldest daughter's apartment. Oh, Lord. Let me see what this. Oh, good Lord.
So this,
That's 3 days right there.
yeah. So this is going from my house to Salt Lake City, Utah. Just under 21 or just under 20 and a half hours.
Yeah, that's insane. That will get you like to Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going basically from the tip of Lake Michigan, not even to the actual West Coast.
Yeah, it would take about 4 days to comfortably travel from the East Coast to the West Coast
Hmm.
in a car. Of course, if you decided to fly, it'd take you about the same amount of time, but most of those days would be spent in TSA safety checks at the airports.
Mm-hmm.
You're standing in line and they're going, "Hey, hurry up, move along, move along, move along." Oh, you have something suspicious. No, you are a good looking woman and they want you to walk through the x ray camera so they can save those photographs for their own personal porn collection. Uh,
That's not how X-ray works.
yeah, TSA is like that. They're horrible.
32 hours to the Pacific coast for me. They're about 11 and a half to the Atlantic coast.
Yeah.
That's insane. I can drive 20 minutes and I'll be at the beach.
Oh, so could I, but it'd be the beach of Lake Michigan.
Yeah, I'd be at the North Sea. I mean,
Well, neither one I'd want to get into. They're damn cold.
that's fair.
Yeah, even driving to Miami is actually closer than me going to the West Coast. That's 19 hours.
Yeah. This week I'm going to have to go from here to one of the major highways between South Carolina and Atlanta, turn off onto a teeny tiny highway. It's still a major highway, but it's not 6 lanes, 8 lanes, whatever. It's just 2. And then go around Atlanta entirely till I get to I-75 that goes from Atlanta on up to Chattanooga, Tennessee. And then it'll be 70-mile-an-hour traffic there. And that's the speed limits. So, don't know if the Toyota can do 70 miles an hour, but it's a go-kart. I'm going to have fun. We decided not to take the van because we don't really need the van. And the Toyota has air conditioning, whereas I've never been able to find a shop open to where I can get the air conditioning repaired in my van. It's great for fall and winter driving. It's absolutely horrid for this area down here for spring and summer because you really need the air conditioning. But all you can do is roll the windows down and put your foot down. It should take me about 3 hours to get from here to the hotel in Chattanooga.
No, it's about.
That's it. That's it. I mean, that's local. I mean, seriously. I know people that drive that far just to go grocery shopping.
Yeah, that's insane.
Hey, I live out in the middle of nowhere.
No, 3 hours will get you in Brussels.
I like their sprouts.
I like the comics.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
And that's the other thing that just seems to flabbergast some people who are overseas, that it's not uncommon for an American to have at least a 1 hour drive to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insanity here.
Yeah.
The only way you're going to have more than an hour commute to work here is if you're taking public transit.
Yeah, last night, bugger, now I can't remember her name. Little cute elf girl. Somebody
Emily.
help me. Emily, yes. She drives an hour to work every day and an hour home every day.
Mm-hmm.
Here is
You
that
do that in the middle of Europe, you're going to be in a different country.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's even better is when you're doing that hour and a half drive to work and you got to switch time zones too.
Oh, dear.
Did that for full construction season.
Oh.
Yeah, I was going from Central Time to Eastern Time. Eastern is an hour ahead of me.
Yeah.
So the 7 a.m. start time there was 6 a.m. for me, which means I need to leave the house by 4:30 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Well, what was really fun was telling people, oh, yeah, it's an hour and a half drive there, but it's only a 30-minute drive back. What do you mean it's only a 30-minute drive back? Is traffic that much better? No, same traffic. Actually, traffic's worse. Well, how's it only a half hour? Time change, you morons.
Time zones.
We have 5 counties in the Northwest Indiana area that are on Central Time. Come on.
I went to visit family in Kentucky one time. And we got there and they go, okay, reset your watch. And I'm going, do what? And they go, we're on Central Time. Otherwise, you won't be able to tell if there's a TV show you want to watch, what time it is, or. And I'm going, digital watches have not been invented yet. I've still got an analog watch. I mean, this was about 20 years before digital watches ever existed. So I'm going, pull the stem out, back it up.
Yep.
Then when you went home, you had to remember to put it forward again.
Yeah. And all I did was cross a state line.
Mm-hmm.
Seriously. It wasn't even east to west. It was north to south.
That's one of the fun things is with our area, especially when I worked at INDOT, central office down in Indy is on Eastern Time. So when you're setting up a meeting with them, you have to specify this is going to be at 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. your time. And then half the time they'd send us a thing going, oh yeah, we're going to have a meeting up at LaPorte District at 9 a.m. Sweet. You got people showing up, walking by and seeing them in there at 8 a.m. going, guys are setting up early, aren't you? Well, meeting's supposed to start.
Mm-hmm.
No, you told us 9 a.m. Well, yeah, it's 9 a.m. No, it's not. Not in our time zone. And the even better part was LaPorte District spans 13 counties, so 5 counties are in Central, the other 8 are Eastern. So you had to know where each maintenance unit fell inside of the time zones.
That's
they're-
one reason why I like the world clock app
Mhm.
in my iPad, because once a month I go in this IRC chat that's all fans of a certain famous writer,
Mhm.
and the fans are located anywhere from Eastern Europe to Australia. And we all have to coordinate.
Mhm.
So basically, we start the chat on a Saturday afternoon. It's Sunday morning
Yeah.
for the guy in Australia. And it's Saturday morning for the people in Europe.
Yeah.
And we're sitting here in the middle of the, well, not the middle, we're sitting here on the east of the U.S. going, God, I feel like I'm trying to watch a volleyball game here. Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. No, and I can pull up the app on the iPad and go, oh, okay. You're drinking coffee. You're drinking schnapps. It's about time I had a beer. It's after lunch. And then the writer in question shows up and he goes, yeah, I'm gonna have to cook lunch for my wife, and I've got an hour or two before noon. So he's in California. Okay.
Mhm.
Happy
All
time
we
zone,
need,
everybody.
all we need now is somebody in Hawaii so they can bridge the gap between Australia and Europe. So far, nobody in Hawaii has joined the group. It's only a matter of time, believe me. And he doesn't have to cook for his wife anymore because she just passed away this year.
Oh.
That's, hey, they're both in their mid 70s. So she had a good run. They were together for almost 50 years, if not more. It's okay. It's horrible anytime you lose your partner, no matter what age.
Mm-hmm.
It's horrible. But, you know, as long as there's still time on your clock, you have to adjust. You can't
Mhm.
just stand still. You have to keep going. Even if you don't want to, you don't have a choice. You've got to keep going. And it's it's horrible, it's tragic, it's human, and it's very understandable as a logical thing, but it's still a tragedy. no matter what, no matter when, no matter how old either of you are. Um, been through it myself. Um, takes a while to get used to, but we humans are really resilient.
Oh yeah.
We can make the best of a bad situation, no matter what the bad in the situation is. I mean, there were still people that in the places like Auschwitz and Buchenwald, people still, human nature, fell in love, wanted to spend the rest of their lives together, knowing the rest of their lives might be really, really short. And then luckily, one, the other, or both managed to survive long enough to escape, to have the camps liberated, whatever. But sometimes that wasn't the way it worked out. Somebody invariably got left behind in the madness that is war. Sorry to bring everybody down. I got philosophical there for a second.
It's cool. It's cool.
Well, I mean, we're such a far removed from those things that I feel like occasionally we lose the perspective. You know, it's not something that should ever be forgotten. Because there were millions of lives that got thrown away. But there were thousands of lives that got saved. You have to concentrate on the happy endings rather than the tragic ones. Oh, she's so cute.
She's adorable.
I remember having grandchildren that age. God, it's just, oh, you know.
She was just trying to add her 2 cents into the story.
Of course.
Yeah,
Gotta have the expert opinion.
Really, I'm guessing either she drank the milk too fast or she needed a diaper change. Probably drank the milk too fast.
No, she was laying in a box and she was just done playing. She was looking at me and going, "God, pick me up." She doesn't
Daddy,
need the
I
diaper
need
change.
you.
Father, I need sustenance.
Oh, don't look at me. Talk to your mother. She's the one with the tits.
No, well, it's not like we use those, so when it comes down to feeding, it's been mostly me, actually. And so now when I have to work all day at the supermarket, she will look at Mom and go, "What are you still doing here? Where's Dad? What do you mean it's your thing?
I want my bottle."
Yeah.
You're
What are you
dismissed.
doing, you drunk?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, she's getting tired. Oh, it's nothing you are not allowed to grab. Because a roll of toilet paper is gonna go all over.
Hey, it happens.
Yeah, well. Are you gonna say hi? Hello.
Hello, Aurora. You don't know me, and you might not ever remember me, but I write music for you. And one day you'll remember that, even if you never find out what my name is. And that's just fine. I don't mind at all. You are absolutely precious, you little darling.
I'll make sure she knows.
I remember when I had grandchildren nowadays, and now I've got a great grandson that's just been born. Not great grandson, great grandnephew. Excuse me. That's the thing about families from Tennessee and Kentucky. It's all one big family. You can't tell if it's a cousin or a nephew, a niece, or a grandchild. They're all the same. Change the diaper, give them a bottle. Um,
Love them just the same. No care.
yeah, really. Hold them and sing lullabies to them till they go to sleep. It's just kids. Oh, sweetie. Yes.
I'll be right. I'm actually gonna hop because I gotta prepare things until for Lou's coming. Because the reason we were going to my mother-in-law is because there is a small closet that we want to put in the hallway, and we were supposed to do that today. So we had a friend of ours bring their truck and just get it all over with and do it all at once. But plans changed, so now she's got to do it solo with a friend. And I just got to make sure that everything is ready here.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do.
It's all right. Don't worry.
And she's tired. And beat.
Yeah. She woke up early.
She actually slept in. It was 7:30. That's very late for her. Normally it's between 5 and 6.
On
the other hand, she's been doing that since she was 6 weeks old. I'm not complaining. She went to bed late last night, like 10:30. She had a long day and we were at a party and she did not like the loud music and stuff, and it just
Yeah. Oh, sweet girl.
And she is letting you know all about it right now.
She ain't gonna stop.
Nope.
All right. Take care, guys. Hopefully see you soon.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Aurora.
And by closet, I assume he means a wardrobe cabinet, which is very European and very Appalachian. I remember those from when I was a kid. Houses were not built with closets, so you had to have a cabinet to hang your clothes in. Oh, sometimes I go so old school. It's no wonder Nick thinks that I'm a leftover from the Stone Age, but it's true. I've seen so many generations just in my lifetime. Oh, bless you, Joe.
Oh, the second one and then didn't release. Oh, that's gonna suck later.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least you're not dipping snuff. You'd be having to go wash your face about now. Speaking of Appalachia, these things I know. Good Lord.
Whew. Yeah, 20 minutes to go.
Yes. And Thesis, you're going to, let's see, your next show is in 2 weeks?
No, we're still checking because next Saturday my nephew is coming down for a birthday party and they're going to have a pool party and a barbecue and all that. So I'm not 100% sure if I'll be home by the normal time, but I'm going to try and do it on the 22nd. Whether it's earlier in the day or later in the evening, we will see.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's StreamYard. You can always pre-record something when you got time and play it later.
Yeah.
That eliminates the fun of replying to people's real-time comments when it actually plays. But, you know, we're used to that. We deal with pre-recorded shows a lot, but, you know, don't feel pressured.
I'm going to try and do it that day. It's just going to be a matter of if I have to do it early or late, or if everything is done in time, then I'll just. I mean, the party's going to be at my parents' house, which is like across town, which for me is about an 8-minute drive. So yeah,
that's not bad.
No.
Yeah, like I said, I'll be at the convention this weekend, so I have no idea whether or not I'll be able to do Thursday night show or the green room, which I should be able to do, or Saturday night show this weekend or Sunday morning this weekend coming up. I just don't know. I have until I get there and I'm actually in the moment, I have no idea what my time is going to entail. I do know that I've got to do 4 different panels plus opening ceremonies and closing ceremonies. And believe me, one of those panels I'm probably going to be the moderator on, and that one is going to be steampunk themed because I am the go-to steampunk guy for this convention. I would love for somebody to take over this particular assignment, but I'm the guy. So yeah. Closest thing to an expert they got that shows up and has a membership and is willing to sit on a panel and go, Well, yeah, that's really neat. But have you thought about combining that with Martians? And yeah, just because that's a book I've written, but Roden, where the fuck did you get that pronunciation, Daniel? Um, that don't work. Not in any
And
accent that you use. Uh,
anything is a word if you can say it with enough confidence.
True. Very true. We're writers. We make up words all the time. Whether they make sense or not. Context.
Yep. Look at the alien languages in my Space Fort Bar stories. I mean, seriously. When you have a ship's computer telling its pilot that your mother mates out of season as an insult.
All right.
You kind of go, the biology of that is a little bit weird, but as long as the story flows and the dialogue flows, really doesn't make any difference.
Mhm.
It can be totally incomprehensible gobbledygook as long as the reader has a way to understand what the characters are saying. You don't have to exactly translate things. You don't have to go, oh, well, here in quotation marks is what they said, and here, not in quotation marks, but in italics, is what they verbalized, if you can tell the difference. That the main thrust of everything is don't let the reader get pulled out of the story. When I'm doing things like that and I've got somebody talking in an alien language, and I will, not always, but sometimes show the gobbledygook of what that language would look like if it were written. But then I will have the characters go, you smart-ass computer, what did you just call me a houseplant for? As long as you have a way for the reader to know what the joke is, what the dialogue is, what the
Chewbacca and Han
conversation
Solo is the best description of that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Very few things will immediately take me out of reading, but one of the biggest ones for me is just people being remarkably lazy, and instead of naming characters, they just throw random initials at you. I can't. S said to G and Q went over to Y. It's like, dude, just give them a name. There are 10,000 websites out there that you can get names from. Just pick one.
Yeah, really. Finish writing the story. You forgot to name the characters. I'm guilty of borrowing from Doctor Who and giving characters titles
The
instead
titles
of
are
names.
fine as long as they, make sense.
Yeah, and I try and make sure they do. I mean, if you get a title, The Time Traveler, or The Doctor, or The Medic, or The Miracle Worker, people get an idea of what they're supposed to be from previous context, even if
Mhm.
it's some other media. I mean, you, when somebody comes in with the title The Miracle Worker, you immediately think it's Scotty. I mean, seriously. If Star Trek
Yeah.
is not part of your universe, you're not going to get that. But if it is, you're going to go, "Oh, that's cool." But yeah,
What's funny is when you give someone a title and they're not a main character, but they're always being discussed by other people, and then you meet them and they don't fit the title at all. That happened in something a friend of mine wrote in high school. They had the big bad of their story was called the Cowboy. And everyone talked about the cowboy. Always, the cowboy did this. And so you're expecting,
a
Clint
cowboy.
Eastwood. You're expecting John Wayne. And they finally get to the big battle with the main, the big evil guy. And he walks out in a suit and a monocle. And you're just like, what the hell did you do, man?
Really, that's not a cowboy. That's a freaking Nazi.
Yeah, exactly.
On the Kingpin, Slim. Ah,
Yeah, exactly. And he did that on purpose. He did it just to be a dick.
Sorry, no. I don't normally interfere with people's stories, but somebody pulls that one on me, I'm going to be livid.
Oh, I was reading this damn thing. I'm expecting, they walk in the room and you see a guy in a cowboy hat and spurs and a long duster with, a bandolier and a friggin' 6-shooter on his hip. And no, he walks out with a cane and a monocle. Like, no, this is not right.
This is not a cowboy.
Well, this is cowboys in my universe. Then name him something else.
Really, that's somebody from New York City. Get a rope.
Or, somehow through like context clues, let people in your world. This is what cowboys are, because otherwise they're going to get to the end and be pissed.
Yeah. That's another fine point. Don't piss off your reader. Don't underdeliver, don't overdeliver. But please don't try and baffle your reader with bullshit. Because most of them can see through it. And at least 70% of them can predict what you're going to do and say in the story anyway, because they're not children. They have run across this sort of thing before. These tropes are memorable. There are lists of tropes to help you not make these mistakes. The evil overlord list. You know that one, Joe?
That I do not.
Oh my God, look that up. You might have to use the Wayback Machine to find it. The Evil Overlord list, the hero list, the Evil Overlord's daughters list, the hero's girlfriend. It's like, okay, we've made lists of every possible bullshit thing these characters can do if they are defined by these tropes.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite things in the Evil Overlord is um, when I design a world-ending device, I will put a non-functional panel in a control room that is heavily guarded. And when you hit the non-functional panel to end my world-ending device, all it does is capture you and give you to my evil overlord's daughter as a sexual plaything rather than stop the world from ending or anything like that. Uh, there's the evil henchman list.
I just saw an evil thing for that.
Yeah.
The hero makes it through, gets that control panel, pushes the big red button to end the evil overlord's weapon, and the coffee machine turns on across the room.
Yeah.
Just party streamers right in the face.
Yeah, or just confetti and champagne dropping from the ceiling and go, congratulations, you totally failed.
The CD drive pops out and a little message appears on the screen saying, "Congratulations on your cup holder."
Really, please don't break the cup holder.
Oh God, no! No! My cup holder is broken. That doesn't have a cup. Ah, shit!
I think I used. The thing I used to know that
You
bit
don't
of
have the
JavaScript.
slightest idea how many IT people I've said big cup holder, and they go, oh
Yeah, I
God,
got that call
no.
twice.
I've taken that call. Oh Lord.
2-minute warning.
Oh really? Okay. Well, I'm sorry we're running out of time, but thank you very much for making this an enjoyable 2 hours. I hope the audience feels the same way. Thank you, Mike Jimmy, for the time that you have been able to commit to us tonight. Thank you, Aurora, for making the universe a better place to live in. And I will go ahead and go to Brand here and figure out which outro. And yeah, that's the one. I've had to delete a few because Joe Dog keeps putting in these "Good night, everybody" animations, and I'm going, that eats up valuable web space. That's okay. He's easily amused. In any case, thank you, everyone who will be watching this in the future. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for giving us your time. Thank you, both gentlemen. Thank you, Mike, Jimmy, for helping to make this a really fun night. And on that note, I do believe it's time for the bedtime story. Good night.
Good night. Good night, folks.
Transmission overload. System will shut down. System will shut down. System will shut down.